he was laying on the floor. They're saying he was laying like
chained down.
And he was chained down. Okay, and he said he got his arm free. And the other ones, how is he chained? If he's chained down, how does he want to get out of the rest of it?
Randy Hamilton Jr. tells News Channel 3 he's unsure why his brother and mother were taken away from their home by deputies here in Van Buren County overnight.
We don't discipline. That's his mom. That's her son. She disciplined him, and she don't do none of that.
Saying if anything, the boy's mother's to blame.
Peggy didn't do nothing. It was her. She's the one that pours bleach on him.
Peggy and Randall Hamilton now accused of torturing and abusing an 11-year-old boy from the beginning of June until now.
These matters are set for probable cause on felony complaints.
Deputies say the 11-year-old was malnourished, bruised, and scared.
Randall Hamilton, his mother's boyfriend who lives in the same household, puts metal clamps on his wrists and ankles and nails the clamps to the wood floor.
The boy found just down the road from his home, hiding in a ditch, leaving behind his 2-year-old brother and mother sleeping inside.
I stopped and asked him, what was going on, and he was walking away from me the whole time, like your kid, and I noticed he was limping. Where do you live? And he said he lived 4 houses down, and I said, well, can you tell me exactly what side of the road? And I'm going to go get your mom, and then he started freaking out.
Bobby McKeag then stopping at a friend's house to call 911.
They told the officers that he ran away from home because his parents don't feed him and that he was very hungry. That Randall Hamilton beats him with switches and belts when he doesn't, when he feels like he needs discipline.
Despite testimony and the felony charges that carry a possible life sentence, the Hamilton family maintains these accusations are false. You're saying that he was never chained to the floor?
Never chained to the floor. Never.
And both suspects being held tonight on a $1 million bond. Neither of them are to have any contact with the victim. Both the victim and his 2-year-old brother are now in the care of CPS. The suspects will be back here in court in early September. Reporting live tonight in South Haven, Lauren Springer, News Channel 3. The Lansing police chief tells us more than a dozen of his own were suspended as a result of this audit when he found that the items in question, mostly food items, were consumed either at the department or taken home when the USDA recommend they be donated to area food banks.
We took the initiative to cease all operations until we could get a handle on what was going on.
Lansing Police Chief Mike Yankowski tells News Channel 3 their partnership with the USDA has been on hold. This after launching an internal audit earlier this year.
One of the officers were just getting into the unit, and they're like, oh, there's a benefit to getting into this unit, and this is the food stamp.
Allegations surfaced back in 2013 of officers taking advantage of bridge cards used for part of an abuse investigation, buying bottles of booze and steaks, then taking them home.
But I did see the alcohol that was purchased, and it was top shelf stuff.
The chief says all of the items were accounted for, but the way they were disposed of was the issue, feeling his officers used at times poor judgment.
Yes, the employees either consumed them, either in the facility, and there was at least one instance where an employee took some of the food home.
The audit revolving around $14,000 of federal funds spent over a 3-year period. This following an investigation by Michigan State Police and the Attorney General. Both found inconclusive because of a lack of evidence and officer interviews.
An internal investigation, we can compel our officers to provide statements to us, and that's exactly what we did.
What the department found was a breakdown in communication and implementation of protocol.
A total of 17 employees were disciplined. The discipline ranged from written reprimands to suspensions without pay.
Yankowski now putting new policy in place to make sure this error in judgment is one never repeated.
Ultimately, mistakes were made and lessons were learned.
And the Lansing Police Department has been in touch with the USDA to see if now that this audit is complete, their work together can continue. The chief tells us despite this internal punishment, there have been many arrests of either store owners or employees within the Lansing area misusing our state bridge cards. Reporting live tonight, Lauren Springer, News Channel 3. Simpson was brought here to the Van Buren County Jail late this afternoon. This after police say he attacked a man looking for his estranged wife. And we're learning this isn't the first time. He has a very long criminal history, currently on probation for domestic violence.
Somebody knocked on the door. He just thought he was opening the door for somebody, and he just started getting stabbed up.
Torrey Hunt's cell phone video shows what he woke up to outside of his apartment around 3 a.m. This man bleeding and begging for help.
So I don't know what was going on, so I opened the door. I see blood everywhere. He was stabbed like in his chin, in his chest. You know, so he had puncture wounds in his chest and all in his arm and stuff.
It all started with a knock on this door. Charlie, the victim, who's under 4 feet tall, was unable to see out of the peephole and opened it. Police say he was then attacked by his girlfriend's estranged husband, Steven Simpson.
It was obviously pretty scary because it was a lot of blood everywhere.
I didn't know what to think. I figured he could die any minute.
There was blood all over the walls. Right.
Crystal Miller tells us Simpson has been here more than once in the past, screaming and pounding on the door.
You know, I hope that she's all right too, because obviously this guy's looking for her and she must be scared.
Detectives unsure now if Charlie or Simpson's wife was the intended target.
The suspect may have seen the wife in the apartment, let our victim go to try and get the wife, who then locked herself in the bathroom until the suspect finally left.
Simpson is currently on probation, arrested several times in the past for domestic violence, most recently for assaulting his wife Super Bowl Sunday. Arriving on his own to South Haven PD for questioning around 2 this afternoon, where he was then taken into custody.
He was, cooperative in the sense that he did come to the police department, not overly cooperative with a lot of information.
And the good news in all of this, Charlie, the victim, was treated, then released at the hospital. We're told that he has 20 to 30 stitches, so he has some recovery ahead of him, but he is going to be just fine. As for Simpson, he'll be staying here tonight, charged in the morning with first-degree home invasion and attempted murder. Reporting live tonight, Lauren Springer, News Channel 3. Because this is a federal investigation, few official details are being released at this point, but multiple sources, many with the Barry County Sheriff's Department, tell us they believe this investigation dates all the way back to 2008 regarding an off-duty deputy killed in a crash. FBI agents spent hours behind this closed window today, raiding the Barry County Sheriff's Department, seizing multiple computers as part of a criminal fraud investigation. The search catching the community and its leaders off guard.
I'm very surprised. The sheriff's always been, on the up and up as far as I can, tell, and runs a pretty tight ship as far as I know. So I'm as surprised as anybody.
Multiple former employees tell News Channel 3 this search stems back to 2008 when Deputy Chris Yonkers was killed by a drunk driver in mid-October on his motorcycle on M43.
But at the time of the accident, he was riding on his personal motorcycle. The team was off duty, so we were pretty sure right from the very beginning that he was not acting in official capacity for the SWAT narcotics unit.
MSP investigators are speculating in the crash report Yonkers was on duty when he was killed.
But it is a court case that we got to determine whether or not he was actually in line of duty for compensation benefits. The family has received no in the line of duty death benefits from state, federal, or local agencies.
A judge ruled Yonkers was off duty at the time, the sheriff's department never receiving any money. But former deputies tell us the sheriff knowingly signed off on benefits paperwork worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, claiming Yonkers was working at the time of his death.
Hopefully people don't rush to judgment until we find out what's really going on.
Answers that may take some time. The federal agencies here today not commenting on this investigation or the allegations behind it. We did talk to the U.S. Attorney's Office today by phone. They're the ones officially handling this investigation. They tell us in situations like this, they can't comment on what or if they're investigating. In Hastings, Lauren Springer, News Channel 3.